Welcome to the Angel Empowerment Show from I Can't to I Can with your host, Cindy Smith, and co-hosts. In this show, airing every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, gain more insight and practical, intuitive tools to bring more clarity and purpose into your daily life. You can listen or be involved in live professional angel card readings on transformationtalkradio.com so you can heal, thrive, and grow in your life. And you'll experience it all with 4 of the best in the field. The Angel Empowerment Show starts now.
Hello, everyone. It is Monday evening. So welcome. Deb and I are here with you tonight, and we have the topic with Michael, Archangel Michael, the CEO. So it's Cindy Smith and my co-host Deborah Weinberger, AEP. You're listening to our 5th episode of the Angel Empowerment Show from I Can't to I Can on Transformation Talk Radio. Stay with us for the next hour and learn how both Deb and I work with Archangel Michael and why do we consider him the CEO of angels. In addition, during this show, we will go into action mode, receive guidance from Michael as to what topics to share for our listeners during the show. So that will be fun. Our show layout today, as always, during the first 30 minutes, Deb and I share information. And then the last 30 minutes, you can ask questions or receive live angel card readings from myself and Deb. And in addition, we will be giving away a 1-hour angel card reading with Deb to the 4th caller or 4th person in the chat room. Our beautiful producer will keep track of that for us. And perhaps during the show, you would like to receive a direct message from Archangel Michael, because we will do that for you. So please call the number on the screen, 1-800-930-2819. And Lydia, our producer, will connect you directly with us, or please type into the chat on all media platforms. All we need is your first name and location. So, Deb, let's start sharing our beliefs, you and I, as to why we think of Michael as our CEO of all the archangels. Okay?
Sure.
So I'll let you start.
Okay. Well, I kind of started calling him that when I realized the clients that I work with would get overwhelmed with the name of the angels and who they needed to call upon for when they were asking for assistance. And so then I started telling them, think of him as the CEO, the boss of angels. You just, even if you don't even remember Michael's name, just know that when you ask for assistance, he will send the right angel to you. And he's like to me, he's the bigger messenger. I call upon him more. He's strong. You know, I picture him as with his shield and his sword, even though that's not CEO type. It's very commanding. It's very not controlling, but he's in control of a situation. So I think that's where that feel of being a CEO, being in charge, directing, guiding all his team, because I believe he has his team, all the other angels. And so I kind of think of him as the head honcho. So yeah.
And as we've shared, and it will be sharing lots because it is an angel empowerment show. We talk about that the archangels are messengers of Creator. Okay, so the top boss is Creator. That's my belief.
Yeah.
But when we're praying or when we're asking for guidance, it's the angels that step in and that assist us. But I think too of Michael as the action. I guess that's when he is all about action. He's about making things happen. And he steps, it's his energy that steps forward, that we will, when we need help, when we're really needing strong guidance, it's his energy that we will feel the most. Okay. People will also say to me, because, I refer to the angel team, the guardian angel team. But I refer to Michael a lot. And because that's just been my go-to from the very beginning, even though I have 4 guardian angels that are permanently on my team only for me. It's just that I've asked Michael to be with me also permanently. So and the reason, and we shared this in our first show together, the reason that Michael is with me permanently is to keep me out of fear and protected. So anybody can have Michael permanently. There's no that, oh my gosh, Cindy's so special because she's got Michael with her permanently. No, it's just that I've asked. And once we ask, it happens. So when we think CEO, we think boss, right? Michael is the boss. And the reason, so if anybody's listening and going, well, when they're asking for help and they're empowering themselves and they're using their intuition, think of it as Archangel Michael as the CEO of your intuition. Okay, he will really keep you on track if you allow. He will override the doubt. He will override the fears, all of that gets us off track if we allow, right? That's the big thing. So let's use the scenario. If you worked you work in your day job is in an office, right?
Yeah, it
okay.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So when staff has issues, where do they go?
To one of the supervisors or one of the managers, right? Yeah.
One of the managers, right? In the office. So if we are floundering, if we're self-doubting, if think we're listening to the wrong thing or we're doing the wrong thing, we can go to our own supervisor, which is our angel team, which is connected to our intuitive self. It's just think of as Michael as the boss of all of it. So that's how I think. If I drop into doubt, if I'm questioning anything to do with my business, my career, should I do this? Is this the right move for me? Even for creating the podcast show, The Angel Empowerment, who do you think I asked? Michael. I run things through Michael. And I'll say things. And so listeners, if you're wanting to ask and anyway, whether it's you're wanting to ask God, creator, but when we ask, the other way you can do it is by saying, is it in my highest best interest to do this? Okay. That's a lot of the time how I'll ask, is it my highest best interest to join the Transformational Talk Radio team, have a live podcast? Is it my highest best interest to invite my co-hosts? Everything gets run through the main boss. And as crazy as that may sound to some people listening to this, it's how I run my life. Now, I'm lucky because I have the love of my life who also is highly intuitive and trusts in the team. I have somebody to also run things by, right? And he's usually good if Michael overrides a decision for us. He never goes, no. He's, thank goodness for that. So I do have somebody that can give me feedback verbally, physically, but I also have the voice, the inner voice, the clairsentience, feeling that I'm on track because I get that gut feeling with Michael. And I guess when you think Archangel Michael, Deb, and you know that he's part of the team, the CEO of the team, are there certain senses or symbols or different things that Michael stepped up to the plate? How do you know Michael's given you the messages?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question for me because, we all have our clairs.
Yes.
And mine is knowing, which is a really hard one to trust. And I've worked really hard into trust. So I just know that when I call upon him to assist me in making a decision. I believe that he helps me listen to my inner voice, listen to my intuition. And I just trust that, because my sense of knowing becomes much stronger. So I know that he stepped forward. Or, and it's interesting because I ask my team to assist in opening up my other clairs. So I'm starting to. So sometimes when I've asked him to step forward, I will envision the shield or the sword. And this is very new. And I've been at this a lot of years, but this is very new that I'm starting to open up that, is it clairvoyance? See, I don't even know the name of my senses very well, but so, but I'm a knower. That's my strongest sense. So like I say, I just know that my knowing gets more stronger, more firm, less doubt when I've asked him, and then I know he has stepped forward. And I know when I ask for assistance a lot from him. For instance, every time I get in my vehicle, I ask that he keep a bubble around me, not only keep my vehicle safe, but to keep other cars from coming into my vehicle,
Yeah.
And every single night I ask him to clear my room and seal it. And I know he's there because I feel a lightness and I feel more secure and I just feel safer. So it's not that I've heard a voice and it's not that I've seen him, but in my knowing, I guess in my feeling too, it's just a different sense. So having said that, I just want everyone out there to know, if you're not hearing or seeing like we talk about or feeling, sometimes we just know. And people have asked me, how do you know? I just do. I can't explain it. But I do know when I ask Michael for assistance, I feel firmer in my knowing. And so it's like he's helping me trust that. He's helping me trust my intuition, to trust my knowing when I'm making decisions or when I'm moving forward with something, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do believe I understand what, we refer to it as claircognizance or knowing.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to describe it as that clair way.
Right.
And I know on next week you and Nola are going to be talking about this working with sensitive kids program. And the one thing I do know is that the children, when we're born, and for the first 7 years, the imprint stage, we are all highly claircognizant. We are trusting in the knowing. It's as we start to look outside of ourselves for that, you go to school, the teachers are telling you this way, your parents are telling you this way, the coaches are telling you it's this way. And for some, we start to diminish that divine knowing, that knowing that's within.
Yeah.
And Michael really helps bring that back. So like what you said, he really helps brings that forward.
Oh yeah, he really does. I teach the kids to call on him, and they love the idea that he's their protector. He has that shield, he has that sword. And I remember clearing the office. They asked me to do that once, and I was using two methods. I was using sage, and then I was filling it with light with Archangel Michael. Well, at that time, my granddaughter, I think, was 6 or maybe 7. And so she was with me, and she said, "Grandma, what are you doing?" As I'm kind of beaming Michael's light into the room. And I said, "Well, I'm making sure there's lots of good energy and lots of good lights. I'm asking Archangel Michael to help me." And she said, "He can do that?" I said, "Yes, he can." And I'm sure she remembers to this day, because when she took the Honoring Our Sensitive Kids class, she remembered, yes, we use his energy to make sure the room is nice and light. So yeah, even the kids would use him and get that he's the boss and he's the protector, and yeah, and that you can call upon him anytime. But yeah.
So for people, because we talked a little bit about the fear. Well, we talked a lot about fear when you and I had the show together, and that has definitely been Archangel Michael's main role with me, main right from the get-go. And I'm going to give you some examples of what I did when my kids were growing up, also with Michael, so that for the parents that are listening out there. And I will, I do want to talk about how much he does help me with my career and how some of the things. So as I shared before, my nickname as a child was Worry Wart. And so I understand worry. And it isn't that I never, ever I still have worry. It isn't that worry has been completely wiped out of my feeling sense, because I'm a mother. Okay. If there's something going on with the kids, I do tend to have a little bit of worry. And I work with Michael to keep it at bay so that it isn't, there's no anxiety around it, if that makes sense. Because there's the worry, then there's a full-on anxiety, and then there's full-on panic. So for me, it's keeping worry is that at the bottom of the list. But as a mother, so for parents, when my children were doing things that I deemed that it was dangerous, and especially if you have teenagers or young kids that like to push they're adventurous, let's put it like that.
Living on the edge.
Living on the edge a little bit, a little bit of adrenaline junkies too, that kind of. So I'm just going to share this story because it's one that I asked Michael, what's something that I know assisted big time for me personally. And it was with my children. They were going with their dad skiing on Mount Washington. And I'm not a skier, but their dad is, and they loved, when they were younger, they loved to go skiing. So because it's what I referred to as dangerous, this is what I would do. I'd go before they were leaving on a trip or to do anything like that. I'd just say to them, can you please ask and allow Archangel Michael to be with you on this trip and to keep you protected? That's all I'd have to do, because if they acknowledge it, so all they would have to do, even if Jason goes, yes, Mom, rolled his eyes, did me the whatever, yes, I'll have Michael with me, because he knew I was going to ask. And off they'd go. And because by allowing, so if everybody's listening to this, if your child, teenager, young adult, full adult, could be 44, who cares? But if at some level he is given permission for Archangel Michael for protection, then it happens because of the free will. So I was in Alberta, and they were skiing in out on Vancouver Island, and they were with their dad. And I got a phone call. I was teaching a workshop. I got a phone call at the end of the day, and their dad says to me, well, have a seat. And I went, what? And he goes, have a seat. I got to tell you a story. So what Jason did is they were skiing, and he went to go around a tree and lost control a little bit and ended up going out of bounds, didn't get himself stopped. And he flew out, he skis and all, over a little cliff. But what he did is he calls it the Roadrunner move, basically where he wrapped, everything. He was divinely protected. Okay. He wrapped his legs and arms around a tree midair, and was able to, lost his skis, dropped, whatever, was able to climb down the tree. Greg and they already had a search party because, all of a sudden he's gone. Greg just figured he was going to show up. So long story short, he had a little bit of soreness in his chest area because of where the impact of the tree. but he didn't play soccer for a couple days. That was basically, and Greg, their dad, said, I would never want you to see that cliff. And he said to me, whatever you're doing with the kids, this angel stuff that you do, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because I know that it could have been way different than what it was that day. And I know what you're doing is working. Now, some people could say, well, why didn't Michael protect him from not even going over the cliff? Well, that's a good question. Why do we still experiencing these odd things and we walk away from it really unharmed? It's because part of his lesson also, it isn't that Michael's going to stop him to have no more lessons in life. It's just that it's nice when it's a little less
gentleness and ease.
Does that make sense? So anything that at any time when I thought that, they're going on a road trip, whatever, can you have Michael with you? I still do it. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how old my daughter is. I still do it because it gives me peace of mind, right? It makes me feel like I'm doing something because Michael can be with anybody when asked at any given moment in time, right? So
now, Cindy, a question. If
yes.
I send Archangel Michael to protect many people. But what if that person is not necessarily where we are in our belief? If they're open to some kind of protection at some point, can he step in then?
Yes.
As we've sent him there? Like, does it
still? There's also,
right? I know there's permission, but
there's many levels of consciousness around that realm. It might be that somebody's asking for help, but they don't say Michael. I just need help with this. But we've already, asked for Michael to step in. It's done. So there's so many different layers when it comes to asking. Now, I even said to Archangel Michael years ago, if I'm getting myself into a pickle, am I going to remember to ask? He said, you've already done it.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Because of how much I do ask. And even, I don't know, but like, if I'm having a nightmare, because, I have dreams and I have nightmare, even in my dreams, who do you think I'm calling on to stop the nightmare? Michael. It's so real in my physical world that it's also happening in my dream world. If I'm having sometimes, I'll have a nightmare and I'm going, Michael, in the dream to stop whatever the fear-based energy of a nightmare. So that's how ingrained it is for me now. It's just part of who I am. It's part of I got to just share this because I get a kick out of this. My grandmother, who's in the white light now, she was one of my biggest supporters when I started doing the angel empowerment work. And she used to travel with me and she'd sit and be there when I was teaching the angel empowerment practitioner course or the connect your own power course. So she was with me right from the get-go. And when my partner Les and I met and we started dating and she goes, now I just got to say something. You're going to have to be careful because you've also got to let Les be part of your life. It can't just be Michael. I'll never forget that conversation because she was used to everything that I did with in the teaching, right? And the referring to Michael. I said, oh yeah, no. Yeah, but no issues there, Grandma.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Les is in the flesh. Good looking in the flesh with me 24/7. So, but I found it interesting because even the kids when they were younger, they'd say, Mom, you're talking out loud again, and I know who you're talking to. So people think it's just that it's like that. It's like having that inner dialogue, but you're having inner dialogue with your angel team. And of course, that inner dialogue to keep you on track is positive. Okay. All right.
So what about somebody who says, why Michael, not just directly to God? If Michael's kind of the CEO, but wouldn't God be, or the divine be above that? But I mean, I always felt that Michael's energy was still lower, so easier to connect with. Do you have any other, anything to add to that? I just, because I know people think that a lot. Why?
Why Michael, when we can just ask God to step in?
Yeah.
Well, part of it has to do with belief systems. And I've always say that I respect if you would rather talk to God instead of Michael, please do. It's just, think of Michael being God's helper that's going to step in. For me, it's easier to think of Michael, and it's because of my own background. It's because of my own, how I've been raised in my own belief system. So it works for me. And that's just how it is. I will say creator. As you'll notice, I use the term creator. I'm much more comfortable with using the term creator than I am God. And please, that's no disrespect. It's just that we have different beliefs out there and doctrines of religion that have put so much fear-based around doing things wrong when it comes to God. And so I like the openness that there is no wrong unless we're harming somebody. So we're going on break, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to channel. We're going to talk a little more about Michael. I'm going to channel a message, and then we'll open up the chat line and the call line. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So do you like the concept of Archangel Michael being your CEO of guidance? So something to ponder on our break, and make sure, please call in. We've got Archangel Michael deck. We've got my deck. We will channel a direct message, and you can ask us any questions. And so we will be right back. All we need is your first name and your location. So we'll see you soon. We are back and excited to share messages with you and answer any questions. As I said before, please call 1-800-930-2819, number on your screen, and Lydia will connect you directly with Deb and I. Or please type into the chats. So we do have Bobby from Tampa, Florida. Thank you, Bobby. And congratulations, Bobby. You are a new certified angel empowerment practitioner. I think he's the fastest person to go through the training that I've ever taught, and done all of his practice readings. So, and Bobby is asking, so Archangel Michael, do you have any suggestions for my next steps now that I'm a certified angel empowerment practitioner? So let me just see what Michael has to say for you, Bobby. Michael's saying, use the social media platforms that you're connected with to advertise that you are doing readings. And Bobby, because you have a special way of doing it than the norm, and it's just getting it out there in, offering the 15-minute email readings. Now, Michael is saying, though, Bobby, it's important for you to value your service and that these are to charge. So what, you are to charge people to receive the beautiful messages that you do. It's always word of mouth. This comes from Cindy. I'll say this part comes from me. It's remembering to tell your clients, could you share their experience with people? Because that's another way to build up more clients. And Michael is, you're unique, and let people know you're unique. That's a direct message. Let people know you're unique because you have a special skill set. And it's just promoting yourself, word of mouth, social media, letting people know that you are certified now and can do this and have had the practice and done the training. So yeah, go for it. Michael is excited. Anything, Deb, you want to add?
Well, as I was just kind of shuffling the deck just to get ready, and a card did fly out. So, but I knew it was a message for Michael. So for Bobby. So detached from the situation is the card. Now there's a lot of writing on the card, but I really noticed Michael with his sword. And what I'm getting mostly is Archangel Michael's asking you to use your sword to cut any attachment to fear. So really work with him to let go of any apprehension and any fear of putting yourself out there, because it's a scary place. I remember when I first started, and it's having him help you. I always tell the kids when I'm teaching them, one of the things we call upon Archangel Michael to assist us with is courage. So ask him to help you to cut the fear. Just think of the sword cutting the fear, but also of bringing in courage. Just bring it in and think of him and his sword and his shield, and you got all the courage to step forward and put yourself out there, because it may feel vulnerable, but he's got you, and you've got the skills. You are very talented, and you're very intuitive and very connected. You have great messages that you'll be able to offer people, and he's wanting you to know it's really important that you step forward and share those messages, because you're going to help so many people along the way. And so it's just hanging on to that. And when you need that little bit of courage to keep going, you ask Michael to assist you.
Awesome. And thank you, Bobby. And it was the podcast is how Bobby found me and the course. So, that's awesome. So thank you, Bobby. I look forward to supporting you even more going forward. Okay. Lydia says we have a couple more callers. So go ahead.
All right. So the first one that we've got here is Janie from Alberta. Janie,
Okay.
You're on the line with Cindy and Deb. Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Jamie.
Hello.
Awesome. We can hear you. So Deb, do you want to pull a card?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm using the Archangel Michael deck, and we'll just see what message Archangel Michael has for you today.
Awesome.
So it's innocence. So when I look upon the card, the card says innocence. So when I look upon the card, though, it's the angel is holding a little puppy. And what I'm getting for you with this card is that he wants you to remember that part of you that is innocent before the life experiences, before all the, we all go through hardships and heartbreak. So he wants you to go within and remember what it's like to be innocent and free of worry. And so pull in on that feeling so that you can step in your day and knowing that that is how you want to feel. And that's how you're going to overcome some of your life's challenges.
That's amazing. That makes me very emotional. That speaks to me 100%. Thank you for that.
Cindy, do you have anything to add from Michael?
And I get, if you're unfamiliar, or I'm not sure if you've worked with Archangel Michael, but what I get from Michael for you is Michael he really wants to step in to be your motivator. It's like, let me give you assistance to be in that action mode. So sometimes when you feel like I just can't do it all, or, I sign myself up to do too much, or it's like it's something about really assisting you to make things happen. It's let him be your motivator. Okay? If that
I love that. That is exactly what, yes, it does, more than you know. And that's exactly what I need to hear. That's exactly what I need in my life right now.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for taking the time to call in with us. We absolutely appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, ladies. Wonderful. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And Lydia, we have another caller.
Yes, we do. We have Rebecca from Calgary.
Okay.
Rebecca, you're on the line with Cindy and Deb. Can you hear us?
Oh, we can't hear her.
Wonder if she's
Hello?
Oh, there you
are.
are.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
Would you like me to pull a card?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a bit slow. That might be my connection. I don't have a question. I'm just hoping for a card pull.
I will do that. Okay, Rebecca, let's see. We're working with Archangel Michael tonight, so let's see what message Archangel Michael would like for you.
Okay.
So an interesting card to come up, and it's remove old grief patterns. Now, with this card though, because we're really been talking about Michael, what he really wants to say about that is he would really encourage you to spend as much as you can in what I always refer to as the now vibration, the present time, the time that's right now. As you're talking to us on the phone, that's what I consider now vibration. He basically is really wanting to assist you to keep out of thinking the what ifs, the should haves, the could haves, and really focus on being present in the now so that you can manifest more in the future. Because when I saw the removal of grief patterns, it wasn't necessarily grief that came up. It felt more like he was really wanting to assist you to stay out of the past. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. And Deb, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just definitely just looking forward, but staying in today. What will make me happy today at this very moment? That's so important. And to wake up every morning and say, I will live in the now. I will live, today's a new day. I will be present in my little things. That's the little things every day. Yeah.
And Rebecca, I'm getting also from Michael that there's somebody that you're close to in your life that would like to keep you more stuck in the past. I don't know if that means something to you or not, but you know how sometimes people that we love and care about, they can't handle change. And so just be very aware that sometimes this person may be really a positive influence in your world, but is much more happy if there's no change. If that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think it does. That's very interesting.
Okay. That's what stepped up for me.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And thank you so much for you coming and joining.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so we have, is a fourth person in the chat. Do we have a name, Lydia? Andrew from Calgary. Okay, so, and this is our fourth person. So
Yeah.
if ANDRII from Calgary, you have won a reading with Deb. So she is going to gift you a full-on hour session with her. So please reach out to Deb. Deb, can you tell her how to get a hold of you? And
Yeah,
we'll answer some of these questions, but
yeah, the easiest way is probably through my website. You can email me www.onawinghealing.com.
onawinghealing.com. Okay. And then you can get you just got gifted for being the fourth person. But so how about, I'm going to get Deb to pull a card from Michael for you. And I'm going to pull a card also, and we'll see. We'll give you some answers right here tonight. But wow, you got the gift too. So you came on just at the right time.
Okay, so your question is about work, what you want to know. Okay. Often I find too, we can ask all the questions you want, but they tell you what you really need to know.
Yes. Yeah,
I remember
that's
the
how
first
the angels work.
the angel party I did, the hostess said, okay, for those of you who've never had a reading, just so you know, you can ask all the questions you want, but Deb's going to tell you what the angels want you to know regardless. So anyway, okay, the card I pulled was favorable outcome.
Oh.
Now, what's interesting is I'm seeing this angel's kind of in the dark, and there is two, they're balancing. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of the ways, scales of justice is what it looks like, but there's a light on each one. But what he wants you to remember is that the future is very bright for you, and that the outcome for your job in particular, which is what you're asking about, is looking amazing. But keep your eyes open and because it's like there's options for you. And so allow him to heighten your intuition on which direction to take, which doors, because it's like there's more than one door opening for you. So so he wants you to ask him to assist you, because you'll feel it in your body, but you have to ask him to heighten it for you so you feel more sure, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And I'm going to pull a card too from the Inspire, Change, and Healing deck. And I'm just asking a card, finish what you start card with Michael. So remember, it's interesting because there is that energy that you are feeling stuck. Okay. And it's, again, as I talked about earlier, allow Michael to be that motivator to get, even if it's one thing, it's just one thing to focus on. Because if you can get one thing completed, then you start to feel like you're actually making progress. So instead of thinking of a list of 10 things, do one. Michael's saying do one step at a time. Get one thing done and then move to the next. Another thing done, then move to the next. And it'll stop you from feeling be so stuck. Also, he's saying to, oh yeah, he's saying to remember that you can move into action without knowing the outcome. So it's when you want some change, you start to make change, even though you're unsure yet what the outcome is going to look like. And that was a big thing for me. His main thing always to me was said, ask and let it be. We will line it up for you, my child. But the thing is, I had to be in action to even ask to get things going. So Archangel Michael really wants to get you unstuck. Okay, so thank you. Reach out to Deb, get a hold of her. onawinghealing.com. or you can find us on the Transformational Talk Radio website or on my website. All of us are there under the podcast tab, cindysmithaep.com. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. And we have Michelle in the chat, and Deb, I'll let you pull a card for her.
Okay, does Michelle have a specific question?
No, she's just asking for she's asking for a message from Michael direct to her.
Okay. So it's your children are watched over by angels. So not necessarily children. When I look at this, you know, I'm thinking of your family. So it's in this one, it's not necessarily children in that more vulnerable. Those in your family that are feeling vulnerable right now, he wants you to know he's offering them extra protection. He's with them. They've asked for help on a level that they may not even be aware, but he's there. And that if you were to ask for, just ask him to assist further. But also, I'm getting also that he wants you to know that ask him to help you ease the worry. I don't know if there's something going on with your family and you're feeling concerned. Ask him to help you ease the worry. And because he's there, he's assisting, he's protecting, but also he'll ease the burden, not the burden, that's the wrong word, but just ease the concern for you to know that they are safe, they are looked after. They're still going to learn their lessons, but they are looked after. Anything
Awesome.
further, Cindy?
No, I get that. Yeah, it's just as I talked about earlier, it's remembering those stages of the worry. You know, we're parents, but yeah, Michael's just wanting to comfort you, Michelle. I'm just getting the sense of he's wanting to comfort you, surround you with his wings. It's just like he was wanting to comfort you. That's the strong feeling and message that I'm getting through. And you know, we're already getting close to the top of the hour, so I want to do just a quick channel, and then Deb, quickly talk about next show. Okay, that's next week. So I'm going to just let me just, for all of the listeners, my children, ask yourself, what does empowerment mean to you? The word power is with empowerment, and allow and understand the theme and the concept of your own personal power with the connection to us, the divine. Asking and allowing, trusting and knowing empowers you to make choices, to put things into action steps. My children, remember that empowerment equals trust. Trust us, the divine, to assist. And accept and receive. And he just finishes by saying, my children, stop allowing the doubt. How is he wanting to say this? The doubt creates blocks. Trust when you ask us, we are taking care of it. Okay, because I just had a short little thank you, Michael. He wanted to talk about personal power, basically, was what I was really, this is the Angel Empowerment Show. And he said, get back to the basics. I never even we'll have to talk about how even in the future, we're going to have to talk about how I named Angel Empowerment and everything that I do. So Deb, quickly talk about next week's show.
So next week, August 15th, Nola Peacock and myself, we will be doing, the show title is Three Keys to Reduce Meltdowns for Sensitive Kids. So we will be talking about, we will be giving some tips on how to work with your sensitive kids. Nola and I are very passionate about it. We have a program called Honoring Our Sensitive Kids, where we assist, we teach kids how to handle their own challenges, as well as part of the first program. There's also a component for the parents, but we're very passionate about working with the kids. We know that had we had assistance as kids, or if we had assistance to help our children, it would have been a whole different experience. So please join us next Monday, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 9 Eastern. Do you ever notice we never say 8 Central?
No.
On Transformation Talk Radio, where the Angel Empowerment Show, where we will talk about our sensitive children.
And thank you, everybody, once again, for whether you listen to live or you listen to it in the future. And I love talking about Archangel Michael. So you're going to hear a lot about him through the show over the weeks ahead of us. Please reach out to me. My website, cindysmithaep.com. You can subscribe to my newsletter. One of the things that I do is I channel a message once a month from different archangels. It's up on my website, or if you join my newsletter, you'll receive that on the 1st of every month. And right now, I am at my friend's because I am at the Saskatoon exhibition, August 9th to 14th. I'll be there in person, where you can come and receive an angel card reading. So please, if any of my Saskatchewan friends are listening, please come visit us. I want to thank my co-host today, Deb, for sharing her connection with Archangel Michael. And we both want to thank you for all tuning into the Angel Empowerment Show from I Can't to I Can on Transformational Talk Radio. And please, like we said, join us next Monday. I'm passionate too. We did that program. They will tell you, and you're going to learn more about our Honoring Our Sensitive Kids program that we created for parents and children. And so Deb and Nola will be sharing with you the workshop online, etc., next week, so you can know how you can check that out. So thank you, Deb. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, Michael, for all that you do to make everything in my world happen, and keeping me on track and keeping me guided. And I always believe he brings the right people into our life at the right time. So thank you for those that are listening to the podcast for the first time. And thank you for anybody who joins us live. It's been divinely guided.
Thank you for listening to the Angel Empowerment Show from I Can't to I Can with your host, Cindy Smith, and co-host. Learn to empower you with angelic guidance every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. It's easy to tap into your divine self and trust in your angelic guidance. Let Cindy and co-hosts give you a loving push to explore your potential. For more information, go to CindySmithAEP.com. That's CindySmithAEP.com.